you're a fan of finely crafted PS3 video coverage, then well done! You've correctly found Access. Coming up on this episode, we hoover up the news dirt in our PlayStation briefing, smack people in the name of charity at Namco Bandai and Capcom's Fight Night tournament, and talk to BioShock creator Ken Levine about his favourite virtual world on PS3. But before all that, it's space lasers and gimp masks at the ready for our game of the week, Starhawk. Hands up if you like space, guns, transforming jetbots, guns, off-road combat buggies and guns! If your hand isn't up, then A, what's wrong with you? And B, you probably won't like Starhawk, exclusive PS3 multiplayer shooter and spiritual sequel to 2007's mega-addictive Warhawk. It's not due to land until the new year, but we've had ourselves an extensive plough through the private beta, in which we've run over men in our massive space trucks, shot people with plasma-spewing sniper cannons, and gracefully piloted our Hawk jet around the gorgeous planet-hugging maps. But our absolute best is the brilliant respawn pod, which obviously we haven't encountered very often. Pop it when you land and you're instantly in the thick of a surprisingly tactical multiplayer tug-of-war. Turns out there's far more to Starhawk than just plugging people in their gimp masks. Capture the flag is the order of the day for the beta, and contrary to every gaming instinct in our kill-happy thumbs, a good defence is key. Racking up the points enables you to build defensive structures around your flag, from simple walls through to supply bunkers and our super favourite impenetrable force fields. We love winning. Eventually though, you'll have to stop the toe dipping and take the offensive plunge. Luckily you've got a space garage's worth of options when it comes to braving your enemy's base. You can ride shotgun on the aforementioned trucks as your mates negotiate the rocky terrain. You can build a jetpack dispenser, which you don't even have to stick coins in to make work. Or you can splurge your space pounds on an all-singing Hawk jet. This lets you stomp around, rifling hapless enemies into blobs of singed man-meat, or transform Megatron style into a rocket-fueled death plane. Ground troops can take you out with a well-placed homing missile, which prevents the Hawks from becoming too cheaty. Plus there's a real focus on team play, all of which makes Starhawk feel tightly balanced and loaded with tactical opportunity. And finally grabbing that flag and legging it back to base with the cheers of teammates ringing across the PSN airwaves. Awesome like fist-bumping Jesus. Starhawk takes off on PS3 in 2012, and we'll have plenty more on the game in the run-up to its release. Time for some hot news now as we sift through the week's biggest stories in our PlayStation briefing. Judas! Judas! Is what Pro Evo fans are chanting as news comes through that Lionel Messi has signed up to be the face of mega rival FIFA. His first job as EA's new poster boy is to slap his grinning mug, yes, hello Leo, onto upcoming Megfest FIFA Street. Looks like his thumbs are just as twinkly as his toes. Talking of big names, we recently caught up with Sony Computer Entertainment President and CEO Jim Ryan at the Vita Rooms and asked him the easiest question of his career. Is Uncharted 3 your game of the year?
Yes. I can't say Newcastle versus Stoke.
You can, Jim, but we'd rather have Sully up front than Leon Best any day of the week.
Oh, the pressure's got to him.
Finally, we bring you the lethal view from a recent invite-only event in London, where dead keen Assassin's Creed fans were given some exclusive hands-on time with Soul Calibur 5, complete with guest starring Ezio Auditore.
The animation in it's brilliant and fighting's brilliant. You got your little catchphrases there, well-known Ezio catchphrases.
I'm quite a fan of the Soul Calibur games, and it's nice when they put in the extra little character into it.
It's quite good fun, so kicking Colette's ass.
No, I was kicking your ass. No, I really love it. I think Ezio suits like the style for Soul Calibur really, really nicely. So it's really good. It's a cool addition.
Requiescat in pace, as Ezio would say. Although we should make it clear that we didn't actually kill anybody. That's all for now. Join us for another briefing next week. Time for some discless fun now as we take a look at the week's best content on the store. So what if it's 18 years late and hasn't even got Jeff Goldblum in it? Jurassic Park has finally landed on the PlayStation Store, and look! Dinosaurs! Telltale Games' episodic take on Spielberg's disaster-filled Zoo 'em Up has you assuming the role of a park ranger during the Dino breakout and inputting heavy rain-style QTEs to avoid becoming part of Big Rex's gourmet dinner.
Hey, guess who's on the line? It's Dodson.
Dodson? Yes! I love Dodson.
She doesn't care.
Squirming down the rabbit hole and popping onto PSN this week is Alice Madness Returns, a floaty action platformer that has you smashing up teapots and firing a whelk like a Gatling gun. Giant enemy crab! Classic Lewis Carrollers like the Cheshire Cat and the Mad Hatter are in too, and all in all, Alice is both plenty playable and looks just like the Tim Burton film should have done but didn't. Plucking our nostalgia strings is the PSP re-release of Persona 2, now available to download from the PlayStation Store, much to the excitement of cult JRPG fans countrywide. Hello to all 7 of you. The game puts you in the very young shoes of high school student Tatsuya, and does lots of alternate dimensions and alter ego summoning, all in lovely top-down PS1 vision. And finally, slinking onto the store from PS2's shadowy alleys is the Sly Raccoon trilogy from infamous developer Sucker Punch. A polished collection of HD'd up re-releases complete with full trophy support and a smattering of funny.
That bazooka really brings out the color of your eyes.
The stealthy gameplay still holds up, and Sly himself is as likeable as a hug made of chocolate. We'll be back with more downloadable wonder next week. Recently, Access caught up with Ken Levine, the finely bearded mind behind the glorious BioShock. BioShock's undersea city of Rapture is a brilliantly imaginative and beautifully realised setting. So we asked Ken what are his favourite game worlds on PS3.
I'm a huge fan of the God of War series, and I've always been when I was a kid I saw Clash of the Titans, and I was always sort of drawn to that period, and there's a brutality to it that you can't avoid. It's so primal, but that's kind of great because that's what the role of fantasy is. It's to step out of your normal life of loving your wife and your friends and all that, to be this giant, huge muscle jerk. The Uncharted series is also a really nice sort of fantasy because you get to be this guy, Nathan Drake, and these 2 beautiful women who are after him, and your old best friend, and even the antagonists you have. It's just kind of a romp, and being that guy can be really another great way just to step out of yourself.
Thanks, Ken. Although it was a trick question, and the real answer is, of course, the glorious world of Access TV. He knew that, really. As the season of giving engulfs us, we're in London for a special Access All Areas, charging a charity fireball for the first ever games industry fight club. Brought to you by the beat-em-up experts at Capcom and Namco Bandai, the Fight Club is a big get-together for button bashers and stick circlers, which not only features a dazzling lineup of unreleased games, but is also designed to raise money for industry charity Games Aid. Namco's Pete Oliver explains.
Tonight is all about bringing the fighting game community together. So Namco and Capcom have teamed up to bring you this really great fighting event where we've got all kinds of games on show: Street Fighter X Tekken, Tekken 6, Soul Calibur 5, and basically we wanted to raise as much money as we could for charity.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken was the main event, with a series of industry grudge matches played throughout the evening. Don't worry guys, we took real good care of our opposition. Then it was on to a very different sort of grudge match, as Tekken producer Katsuhiro Harada took part in a mince pie eating competition with his Street Fighter counterpart Yoshinori Ono. And the pair was still bickering when we caught up with them a little later on.
I didn't cheat in the competition. The fact that I won just shows how much nicer towards the media I am than Harada, and that's the real difference between him and me.
Ono-san kisses the media's ass whenever he's with them, but then completely slags them off behind their back. That's the type of character he is.
Thanks to Ono, Harada and all at Capcom and Namco. Let's go back to Pete for one last Children in Need style running total.
And so far we've raised about £6,000 for Games Aid, so we're really happy with that.
Amazing! And if you'd like to add your own contribution, you can head to justgiving.com/Namco Capcom Fight Club. It's almost time for us to drive off into the sunset for another week. But before that, did we ever tell you how fast we can go in Need for Speed the Run? The answer is so fast that we're hurled backwards in time, as proved by the appearance of this pterodactyl in the plane stage. Next time, we get so good at Gran Turismo 5, we visit the origin of the universe. Spoilers! The Big Bang is a load of tosh. For more Access videos and to check out future events, visit us online at facebook.com/PlayStation Access. See you next week.